Are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market here in Rapid City, South Dakota? It's time for your summer real estate market report. Hey everybody, I'm Tristan Emond with Mindful Living Realty, a realtor right here in Rapid City, South Dakota, the gateway to the Black Hills. Before we get started into our topic, I did wear the appropriate shirt today with the passing of James Earl Jones. I felt it was appropriate to wear Darth Vader on today's video.
We would be honored if you would join us.
We grew up with Star Wars. My brother and I, we had the Empire Strikes Back sheets and comforters and curtain sets. And we even got to see Return of the Jedi in the theater, which was quite a task. In Tyler, Minnesota, we had to go to Marshall, Minnesota, which was 30 minutes away. Fortunately, my neighbor friend had sisters that could drive us, because that was quite the experience for us at the time. I love me anything Star Wars. However, my wife, of course, wouldn't you know it, hates Star Wars. All right, let's get into summer real estate market report for here in Rapid City. And do you know how they talk about summer being doldrums? That's kind of the way things were. Now, this isn't anything terribly unusual for us. Usually once after we have a busy spring market, summer comes and everybody's out vacationing and enjoying the Black Hills, and things kind of tend to slow down a little bit. And then we get the rally and the fair and back to school, and then September hits, we kind of go back to business. But this year, it felt a little more sluggish with the interest rates being higher, all the economic news coming out across the world, the election season stuff coming up. All that stuff seems to kind of have a hindering effect on everyone moving forward with purchasing and buying properties. Just today, I probably got 10 price-reduced emails from other agents around the area. And you can see here on this spreadsheet, all those red marks, that's price reductions just in the past couple days. On top of that, we're seeing more inventory in the Rapid City and surrounding areas. We're up 37% from this time last year. This is good news for buyers who have more things to choose from, but tough for sellers who are looking to get their homes sold quickly, because sometimes that doesn't happen. I continue to use the word weird for this Rapid City real estate market. Some homes will fly off the market in a matter of days, and then other homes sit there for 60 days, and it doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason why one sits and why one seems to sell. There are currently 195 properties that are under contract today or in the Rapid City and surrounding areas in the Black Hills MLS. Those properties average 63 days on the market. That's longer than what we have been used to recently, and considerably longer than, a few years ago. So let's jump into these monthly average sale price numbers to get a feel of how things are going. I mentioned doldrums, right? Look at this. Practically the same number across the board for the past 3 months. Average sold price, single family properties. And that's the same story for new construction average sale prices, right around $430,000. Townhomes went up from $350,000 to $367,000 from June to July, and now from July to August settled back down to $361,000. So the question you might be wondering is, are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market? To answer this question, let's break this down into price point. So let's do a $250,000 to $500,000 price point and a $750,000 to $1 million price point. So let's talk about months of inventory. To determine months of inventory, we take the number of active listings in that price point right now, and then we look at how many sold last month to figure how many months of inventory we have. In the $750,000 to $1 million category, there were 3 homes sold last month. There are currently 40 homes active in this price point in the Rapid City and surrounding areas. That means there's over a year's worth of inventory in that price point. But let's jump back down to the $250,000 to $500,000 price point and take a look at that. Last month, 95 homes sold, and there are currently 187 homes listed active on the market. That's only about 2 months of inventory before all that would go away. 6 months is considered a balanced market. Anything above 6 is a buyer's market. Anything below 6 is a seller's market. So according to the stats, we are solidly still in a seller's market in that $250,000 to $500,000 price point. Now, this is what the stats say, but it doesn't always feel like that, especially for sellers. I've got one property on the market for around $400,000 in Rapid Valley, and we've only had about 6 to 7 showings in the month that it's been listed. I was talking with another agent today who has a property listed out in the Black Hills, 40 acres, 4 servers surrounding it, all the things. 2-3 years ago, that thing would have been gone, multiple offers, and they are now dropping the price dramatically just to get somebody out to look at the property. Of course, that one is in the higher price point bracket, so of course we're dealing with having a lot more homes available than buyers around looking. And let's talk about the upcoming election. A lot of people have said, yep, I'm just going to wait to see what happens, and I understand that. But let's step back and look at the data. This graph shows the home prices over the past 8 election years. It went up after 7 of them. The only one going down was the 2008 housing market crash, as you could expect that it would. And we do have good news from the Fed with interest rates starting to come down, and good news that maybe they'll continue to go down. I mean, cross your fingers. They've said that before, so we will see what happens in the months to come. If you're looking to buy a property, the general consensus is, and what I've heard around Rapid City as well, the sooner you buy a property, the better off you're going to be. Because our prices traditionally, historically, they continue to rise. The sooner you can buy a property, the better chance you get into it at a lower purchase price. I know interest rates are higher, it might not be affordable. Make sure you know where you're at. Make sure you have the right plan in place for moving forward. But sooner is generally better when it comes to buying properties in the Rapid City area. If you're thinking about selling your property, we're no longer in the stick a sign in the yard and expect it to sell time frame. You need to make sure you do all the pieces to have your home ready for sale. The nicer your home looks, the less a buyer has to do when they walk in the door, the better chance you'll get it sold sooner and for more money than if you don't do anything. Buyers have been a little bit picky when it comes to inspection requests and what they are expecting, so you got to meet that demand if you want to sell your home relatively quickly. Finally, one last note to out-of-town buyers. I highly recommend that you consult a local lender as well as your national lenders to find out what's best for you. I recently had a situation where one of my buyers was using a national lender that was required the 3.5% down payment for an FHA loan. They were planning on selling their camper to come up with a down payment for this loan. The problem with your national lenders is they don't know about some of the first-time South Dakota home buyer programs, rural development, and some other ones that are here locally. I got them in touch with a local lender who used South Dakota Housing. And one of the features of South Dakota Housing is if you jump up the interest rate a little bit, you can get 5% towards down payment, towards closing costs, whatever. So now my buyers are coming to the table with very little down payment, their closing costs are less, and they get to keep their camper. I've almost always seen you save money when you go local versus national. As always, what are you thinking about buying a property in Rapid City or selling your home here in the Rapid City or the Black Hills? Let's sit down and have a chat about how we can help you. Let's put together a plan. That plan might be for 6 months, it might be for a year, it might be for 2 years. I've got some people who aren't planning to move for 5 years. So no matter what your situation, we can figure out something that's going to work best for you. Thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Remember, love you live.